5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Offer on the Table. Once again, I'm Adam, and with me is
John.
What's up? Let's get it started. Here's the rundown of how this show is going to work. Every episode, we have a few topics that are current in the NBA, and those will be our topics of discussion. Today, we're rocking with a little bit of a special episode via the Instagram account NBA Would You Rather. We're going to go through a couple scenarios, give our opinion, see if they differ or if we agree.
And if you're unfamiliar with the Would You Rather game, it's basically a party game where you get two scenarios and you have to pick which you would rather have, and they're usually a tough decision that you have to make. Alright, this was inspired by the videos seen on both King of the Fourth Quarter's YouTube channel and Mike Korzeva's channel. Anyway, let's start it off right here with, would you rather never win a ring or win 5 rings as the third option?
Care to go first?
I will go first. I think this is this one's a pretty obvious one. I would rather win 5 rings as the third option because, I mean, they have a picture of Klay up in here. Like, if you're Klay Thompson, if you're the third option on a championship team that wins five rings, you're still the third option. You're still a starter. So, like, you're still a prominent part of that team, and I think it's way more worth it to be winning championships than not winning championships. I think it's an easy one for me.
I agree with that. Also, when you're looking at some of the greatest players of all time, how are people defined, right? Like,
Rings.
Michael Jordan won 6 rings, right? Like, that's a big defining moment for him. People say LeBron is, well, there's that, the coveted argument that we won't get into, but it's, well, LeBron doesn't have as many rings, therefore he's not as good. So, if you can be a third option, basically not work as hard, but still put 5 rings to your name, that's incredible. And a ring is a ring, no matter what. No matter how involved you are, obviously. And third option is nothing to sneer at either. Klay Thompson, a good example of a talented third option, but a contributor. If he wins 5 rings, he can go down in history books and say, I won 5 rings, I was a great player. And,
And he will say that. And I think it's deservedly so.
Yeah, there's the conversation, who are the best people without a ring? Iverson, Barkley. Both really talented players, but they don't have that ring to solidify their greatness, and 5 of them is just unprecedented.
Which is unfortunate, but people who can't enjoy the game and praise the greats unless they have a championship. I mean, that's all that matters to a lot of people. So 5 rings for both of us is the third option. Okay, yeah. There's one about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, but we're skipping that because we only have 20 minutes. But, would you rather be a pinpoint shooter or a monster dunker? Now, I think we have to take this into perspective. We're in 2018, and what matters today is shooting. I mean, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Vince Carter, they used to be, like, dunking is really still exciting to watch, and, that's why they have a dunk contest. But I think the three-pointers are a lot more exciting in today's game, especially when you watch Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant, clutch shots like that. If you have a clutch 3, I think it's better than a clutch dunk late in the game.
I think a dunk is more of a momentum boost than anything else, because if you're in a tight game, if you're looking to, either put the team away or to mount a comeback, you're much more likely to do that with a 3 than you are with a monster dunk. Yeah, I mean, you get everyone hyped, you get them excited, but a 3-pointer, not only is it worth more, but it's a more convenient option. Even in today's NBA, like, you look around, if you're down 2 in a finals game, are you going to look for a dunk, or are you going to look for a go-ahead 3? I think it's a different mindset, but...
Especially today.
In terms of the 3 ball is pivotal in today's NBA. So if I'm talking about what would I rather be, I'd much rather be a pinpoint shooter. And if I'm a GM or a coach, who would I rather have? I'd rather have a 3-point shooter. So yes, dunking is cool. Props to Griffin, Jordan, Oladipo too, Donovan Mitchell, all incredible players. But if you look at Mitchell and Oladipo too, when you're in game, yeah, the highlight reel is cool. But are you really going to be noticed for your dunks or for mounting a comeback on the 3 ball? I think that's a more important option.
Definitely. So, would you rather have 1 MVP or 5 Defensive Player of the Years? I think it's got to be MVP for me. I don't want to sound like I don't know about basketball, but I think that, if you're Defensive Player of the Year, that's really incredible. Like, good for you. But if you're an MVP, you are the best player in that season, supposedly. I mean, you see people winning rings or winning MVPs over LeBron James, even though I think I don't think that James Harden is the best player in the NBA right now. But
we've already talked about that, though. Like,
yeah,
it's a different argument.
But still, if you're MVP, you've been recognized for your stellar performances in this particular season, and I think that I think that it's easier to win more Defensive Player of the Year awards than it is to win more MVPs, which is why I think MVP is obviously more valuable. Hence the name Most Valuable Player.
I think it's a different tier too. Defensively, you talk about a guy, Ben Wallace, who was great defensively, but it's a different level, right? Because as an MVP, theoretically, you should be great on both ends of the floor. That's what you're looking for. As an overall MVP, right? It's an overall most valuable player. And Defensive Player of the Year, that's not really a discussion. Like, it's just an MVP. So, or just a Defensive Player of the Year. It's for me, I value an MVP more than I would value a Defensive Player of the Year. Nothing against Ben Wallace, Kawhi Leonard, but it's about that MVP. People don't strive to win a Defensive Player of the Year. They strive for MVP. And that's kind of my mindset behind that. So I'm going to scroll on down here to talk about some of the brightest young prospects in the league right now. Two guys playing for the same team that basically carried the Celtics all the way up to the conference finals. Almost took them to the finals against a LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers team. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Who would you rather have on your team?
Jason Tatum. I think overall he's a better player, and I like that he can shoot. Again, something that a GM would probably pick over not being able to shoot, which Jaylen Brown can do, but Jason Tatum is more of a knockdown shooter, like he is, and he's a slasher. You see him driving to the rim all the time, and he had a tough matchup. He had to defend LeBron James, and
the matchup doesn't get much tougher than defending LeBron James. Let's be honest.
It doesn't, and I think Jason Tatum did actually a really good job for a rookie, like for being a rookie. Did Jaylen Brown start? Did he start at the 2? Or did he go off the bench for Jason Tatum?
No, he started. In the playoff run, he started.
Okay.
As a rookie or now?
Now.
So, yeah, he started.
Okay. Yeah, it's Jason Tatum for me. Jason Tatum had a really good career at Duke, right? I'm not very good with colleges. Duke. He had a good career at Duke, and he, even though drafted 3rd overall, I think he's better than Lonzo and Markelle Fultz. Straight up.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think when you're talking about a player that not only you have on your team, but the possibility of building around too, nothing against Jaylen Brown. He's an exceptional player, talented both offensively and defensively. Tatum, definitely more offensively skilled than defensively, but still put up great numbers and was phenomenal defensively, especially in the playoffs. But Tatum just brought so much as a rookie too, averaging over 20 a game in the playoffs. Like, that's another level of talent that I think he brings. So I'd much rather have Jason Tatum. It's nothing against Jaylen Brown. I have mad respect for him. A young player with that kind of skill is unprecedented, and it's hard to find in today's NBA. And the Celtics are blessed that they have two players like Tatum, Brown, but I'm going Jason Tatum.
And another thing that I wanted to add about that was that Jason Tatum, again, he's a rookie, and he had performances that a lot of the greats had later on in their career. Like, in terms of a season, especially also in the playoffs, those performances don't go unnoticed, and I'm sure he knows that. And I think he's not far away from an all-star appearance. It can take max 2 years. Adam, turn off your ringtone. Okay, scroll a little down here. Let's see. Would you rather have Donovan Mitchell or Ben Simmons? I'll let you go first on this one.
Me, it's easy. I like Donovan Mitchell a lot more than I like Ben Simmons. I think Ben Simmons is overrated. I'm going to be blunt and honest here. It's nothing against Ben Simmons. Once again,
it is.
I say this a lot. I got respect for him, but he's really, Donovan Mitchell is a true rookie. I think he should have won Rookie of the Year. He's a true rookie. He played damn well. I mean, the Jazz, you just lost Gordon Hayward, a guy who practically wanted to build a franchise around. And he steps in and just did great things for the Jazz. And Ben Simmons, he played well. He's a good passer. He can do it kind of all. He had triple-doubles and stuff.
But did Donovan Mitchell have 1 point in the playoffs?
No, Donovan Mitchell outscored Russell Westbrook in a playoff game. And Ben Simmons couldn't outscore me in a playoff game. Like, I almost had as much as Ben Simmons, and I sat on my couch and watched him suck. So, Donovan Mitchell, it's another tier for me, because I think you look at Ben Simmons, you're valuing the passing, you're valuing the rebounding.
Really
Scoring,
important.
he don't do too much of. Whereas Donovan Mitchell is a scorer, but also can pass and can get rebounds, which Ben Simmons just does not have that part of his game. Do you agree? Or
Yeah, I see where you're coming from too, because for a guy the size of Ben Simmons and to have the skill that he has, I think that we're even looking too much from him, like looking to see more from him because of his 6'11" frame with ball handling skills. And we think that maybe we were led to think that he could do more than he actually can. Because he's tall, so we think if he's a tall person like center size that can also pass and dribble, like we think he can do so much more. But Donovan Mitchell, I think he chose also won Rookie of the Year, even though it's really not Ben Simmons' fault that he got injured. Donovan Mitchell really he blasted the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. Like nobody, this is Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony, and, like, they got knocked out of the first round of the playoffs to a rookie with a team that just lost their franchise player.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious for me. And considering, like, this is unacceptable. I know this is your first year in the league, technically. But 1 point? And it's not like you don't have the size to even, like, that means he had a free throw. Not that he got a field goal or anything.
Yeah.
This man got a free throw. And
got one.
Got one. Yeah, exactly. He got one out of one out of two. So, and being 6'11", or 6'10", whatever the case may be, you can body people inside. Like, you can at least get a layup. You couldn't even get one field goal. That's just unacceptable. Like Adam said. Adam almost had the same amount of points watching from the couch. Like, that's crazy.
All right, we're going to keep a debate between two players going, but I'm going to bring it over to solely the shooting guard position, kicking Donovan Mitchell out for a second. We're talking about two, young but still veteran shooting guards, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal.
Is Devin Booker a veteran?
Yeah, I consider him a veteran. He's been in the league for over 2 years. That's my mark. You're solidified in the league to the point where you're not
It's not a veteran though.
You're still young, but I mean you're not a rookie either, right?
Okay.
So that's kind of my mark. Two guys that have been in the league. How's that?
Okay.
But still young and really talented, both sharpshooters. Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. Who would you rather have on your team?
At this point in time,
Yes.
I'm going Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker, 70 points in one game. Awesome. Bradley Beal, he's a knockdown shooter and he can play defense, which is really important. Devin Booker, though, I think he's a lot more energetic the way he plays. I think he's a lot more fast-paced, and he can really defeat... he almost got the Boston Celtics on his own, even though he lost, but, who else is there on the Suns? You can't put team success on Devin Booker because they haven't had any. It's not his fault. They don't have anyone around him. But Devin Booker, for me, I think he can do, in general, a lot more on offense. The only thing I'm on the fence about is Bradley Beal's defense, because he can get buckets and play defense, which is really important too. They'll put Bradley Beal guarding the other team's small forward if they need to. But this one's a tough one. I think I'm going Devin Booker though, also because he's younger. He's more fast-paced and more energetic. And I think we've seen that because he's the star of his team. Bradley Beal is being shadowed by John Wall. But, yeah, it's Devin Booker for me. How about you?
I think you brought up a really valid point. in talking about this